The alarm woke Commander Alan Hayes from a dreamless sleep. Red lights flashed across his quarters on the United Earth Defense Station. He jumped out of bed and pulled on his uniform while the computer voice repeated the same message. Priority. One distress signal received. All command staff report to control. Alan ran through the corridors, passing other officers rushing to their posts. When he reached the control room, Admiral Jack Foster was already there, his face grim as he stared. At the main screen. "What is it, sir?" Alan asked. "It's from the Satani," said Foster. "Their home system is under attack." Alan felt his stomach drop. The Satani were humanity's oldest allies in space, gentle beings who had helped Earth develop faster than light, travel 30 years ago. Without them, humans would still be trapped in their own solar system. "Show me," said Alan. The screen flickered to life, showing a Satani transmission. The blue-skinned alien was covered in dust, and smoke filled the background. Fear showed clearly in its 4 eyes. "Earth, please help us." The Council ships came without warning. "They're destroying everything. Our cities, our ships, even our farms. They say we are—" An explosion rocked the camera, and the transmission cut to static. "That was 6 hours ago," said Foster. "We've received nothing since." The Galactic Council? Alan couldn't believe it. Why would they attack the Satani? They've broken no laws. I don't know. Foster turned to face the room full of officers. "But we're going to find out. Commander Hayes, prepare your ships. We leave for Satani Prime in 2 hours." Alan led the response fleet. 5 warships, the best Earth could send, on short notice. His ship, the UES Defender, jumped out of hyperspace near Satani Prime 3 days later. What they found made the experienced commander gasp. The beautiful blue-green planet was now wrapped in clouds of ash. Pieces of destroyed ships floated everywhere. The Satani orbital cities, once jewels in the night, were gone. "Scan for life. Signs," Alan ordered, his voice tight. His science officer, Dr. Susan Mitchell, worked at her station. Her shoulders slumped. "Very few, sir. Scattered groups on the surface. Maybe a few thousand survivors. From a race of billions. Captain Warren is hailing us from the Relentless," said the communications officer. Lisa Warren's face appeared on screen. She was younger than Alan, but already known as one of Earth's best ship captains. Her eyes were hard with anger. "Commander, we're picking up a weak signal from a small moon in the outer system. It's a Satani emergency beacon." "Set course," Alan ordered. "All ships follow the Relentless." They found a small group of Satani survivors hiding in caves on the barren moon. Their leader, Elder Thora, was one of the few who had escaped the planet before the attack reached its peak. In the Defenders' meeting room, Thora told them what had happened. Her voice was weak, but her words burned with truth. The Council ships came without any warning. Their commander, a Voskai named Archgeneral Vex, said that the Council had passed a new law. They called it the Purification Initiative. He said, some species were— She searched for the right words. Evolutionary disruptors. That our existence threatened the proper development of life in the galaxy. "That's nonsense," Susan said. "The Satani are one of the most peaceful species we know." "They didn't care about peace," Thora replied. "They cared about something in our biology. Before they started bombing, they took hundreds of our people to their ships. For testing, they said." Alan exchanged looks with Lisa. This was worse than they had imagined. "Did they say anything about Earth or humans?" Foster asked from his video, linked to the meeting. "No," said Thora. "But they had a list. I saw it. Many species were on it. All allies of Earth." The room went quiet. "We need to talk to the Council," Alan said finally. "Earth's ambassador, William Carter, was expelled from Council space yesterday," Foster interrupted. "He barely escaped with his staff. The Council has cut all communications with Earth." "Sir," Lisa leaned forward, "if they've targeted the Satani, they might go after our other allies next. The Koran Republic is closest to Satani space. We need more information before we act," Foster said. "Commander Hayes, take the fleet to Nexus Station. It's neutral ground. See what you can learn there." Nexus Station was the busiest trading hub in this part of the galaxy. Ships from hundreds of worlds docked there. When the Earth fleet arrived, Alan sent Lisa Warren with a small team to gather information while the ships refueled. Lisa moved through the crowded markets of Nexus, listening to the buzz of alien voices. Fear hung in the air like a bad smell. Rumors about the Satani destruction were everywhere. In a dark corner of a quiet bar, she met her contact, an information broker who worked for Earth intelligence. The small rat-like alien slid a data chip across the table. "The Council is calling it a security action," he whispered. "But look at that chip. It has the real Purification Initiative documents. My source died getting that." Back on the Defender, Kevin Phillips, the intelligence officer, analyzed the data. His face grew paler with each minute. "It's worse than we thought," he told Alan and Lisa. "The Seven, the inner circle of the Council, have marked 12 species for elimination. All have something in common." "What?" asked Alan. "Genetic markers related to certain abilities. The Satani could sense quantum fields. The Quran can see possible futures. The Council leaders, the Voskai, have been secretly collecting genetic samples from these species for years. They're stealing evolutionary advantages," Susan realized. "They're wiping out entire civilizations to take their genetic traits." "And the Koran are next," said Lisa. "The document has attack plans. They move on the Koran Republic in 2 weeks." Alan contacted Foster immediately. The Admiral's face was stone as he listened to their findings. "Return to Earth now," Foster ordered. "Bring the Satani survivors. We need to prepare." "Prepare for what, sir?" Alan asked, though he already knew the answer. "War, Commander," Foster said simply. "The Galactic Council has made their choice. Now they will face humanity's judgment." As the Earth ships jumped into hyperspace, heading home, Alan stood by the viewing window. Stars stretched into lines of light around them. He thought about the dead Satani, about the other species marked for death. Earth was young among the stars, its ships fewer, its weapons less advanced than the Council's. But humans had something the Council clearly lacked, a sense of justice. And, soon, the Council would learn just how dangerous that made them. 6 months passed since the Satani genocide. Earth changed in that time. Shipyards around Mars and the Moon worked day and night. Military bases expanded across the solar system. And in secret locations throughout the asteroid belt, Earth housed refugees from 3 more civilizations that had fallen to the Council's Purification Initiative. Admiral Foster stood at the window of his office on Luna Base, looking at the blue sphere of Earth. Captain Lisa Warren entered and saluted. "You wanted to see me, sir?" Foster turned. "Yes, Captain. Please sit down." Lisa took a seat. The Admiral looked tired, with new lines on his face and more gray in his hair. "I'm creating a special fleet," Foster said. "Task Force Judgment. 6 of our most advanced warships with more to join as they're completed. I want you to lead it." Lisa's eyes widened. "Me, sir. There are more experienced officers." "Experience isn't what we need now. We need fire." Foster tapped a button, and a hologram appeared showing a sleek black ship. "This is the UES Relentless. We've rebuilt her with technologies we were holding back. She's yours." "Holding back?" Lisa asked. "Earth has always been careful about showing our full capabilities to the galaxy. The Council thought we were far behind them. They were wrong." Foster showed her more ship designs, weapons plans, and battle strategies. Lisa realized Earth had been preparing for a possible war much longer than anyone knew. "Your task force will train in Saturn's shadow, out of sight of any watching eyes," Foster said. "When you're ready, you'll take the fight to the Council." 6 ships against the Council fleet? Lisa frowned. "Quality over quantity, Captain, and we're not alone anymore." Meanwhile, in the deepest part of Luna Base, Alan Hayes led a different kind of preparation. He worked with Dr. Susan Mitchell and the survivors from the targeted species. Elder Thora of the Satani was there, along with leaders from the other refugee groups. "Show me again," Alan said to Thora. The elderly Satani raised her 4-fingered hand. A small device on the table began to glow and float into the air. "How are you doing that?" Susan asked, recording data on her tablet. "I am sensing the quantum Field around the device, Thora explained. All Sitani can feel these fields. We can push or pull on them slightly. And that's why the Council targeted you, Alan said. This ability? Yes. Each of us has something similar. The Quran can glimpse possible futures. The myth can influence minds. The Talari have perfect memories going back generations. Alan looked at the aliens gathered in the room. Once they led great civilizations. Now they were refugees, their people scattered or dead. We're going to help you fight back, he promised. But first, we need to understand your abilities better. The Council wants them. We need to know why. On Nexus Station, Kevin Phillips moved carefully through the crowded lower levels. After 6 months undercover, he had gained access to restricted areas of the station. Tonight was his chance. Kevin slipped past the guards using the fake ID he had spent months creating. He reached a secure terminal in the Council records section and plugged in a small device that began copying files. As he waited, Kevin thought about Earth. He hadn't been home in almost a year. First, the intelligence-gathering mission on Nexus. Then when the Sitani were attacked, Admiral Foster had ordered him to stay and dig deeper. The device blinked green. Download complete. Kevin removed it and turned to leave. Identification, please. A Voskai security officer blocked the doorway. Kevin's heart raced, but his face stayed calm. Of course. He handed over his fake ID. The officer examined it. This area is restricted after hours. Special clearance. Kevin pointed to the seal on the ID. Council Archive Review Team. The officer hesitated, then handed back the ID. Next time, inform security in advance. Will do, Kevin said, walking away as slowly as he could manage. Back in his small room, Kevin examined what he had stolen. Files about something called the Seven, the secret leadership group behind the Galactic Council. Information about genetic experiments. And most valuable, the next targets on the purification list. He needed to get this to Earth right away. On Mars, military engineer Greg Harris guided Captain Warren through a massive underground facility. This is where we've been adapting alien tech to our ships, he explained, showing her rooms filled with strange devices. The refugees have been helping us understand their technology. And they're willing to share everything? Lisa asked. They want to survive, and they want justice. Greg picked up what looked like a small silver box. This came from the Talari. It's a shield generator 10 times more powerful than anything we had before. We've installed them on all Task Force Judgment ships. In another part of the facility, Officer Olivia Bennett trained pilots in a new battle doctrine. The simulator room hummed with activity as pilots ran through complex maneuvers. The Council expects us to fight like humans always have, Olivia told the pilots. Directly, predictably. We're going to surprise them. She showed them tactics that combined human unpredictability with alien technologies. The pilots learned to use quantum field disruptors based on Sitani abilities and probability shields developed from Quran future sensing. They think they know us, Olivia said. They're wrong. After 3 months of intensive training, Task Force Judgment gathered. At Neptune, 6 black warships designed to be nearly invisible against space. Captain Warren stood on the bridge of the Relentless, looking at the other ships on her display. All ships report ready, Captain, said her first officer, Ryan Kelly. Lisa nodded. Send a message to Admiral Foster. Task Force Judgment is operational. Back on Earth, Foster received the message during an emergency meeting with Earth's government leaders. Kevin Phillips had just returned from Nexus with his stolen information. The Council is moving faster than we expected, Kevin reported. They've already dispatched ships to the Quran Republic. The attack begins in 6 days. The Quran helped us develop our first faster-than-light engines, said one of the government ministers. We can't let them be destroyed like the Sitani. Foster looked at the message from Lisa Warren. Then he made his decision. Task Force Judgment will make its stand at Quran Prime, he said. Captain Warren has her orders. Earth will not allow another ally to fall. In space near Neptune, Lisa received new coordinates from Earth Command. She gathered her crew on the Yaur Bridge. The Quran Republic is about to be attacked, she told them. We're going to stop it. This will be the first time Earth directly opposes the Galactic Council. They outnumber us, but we have surprise on our side, and we have the right to defend our friends. She looked at their faces, humans who had trained alongside alien refugees, who had seen the recordings of the Satani destruction, who knew what was at stake. The Council believes they can judge who deserves to live in this galaxy, Lisa said. Today we show them they're wrong. Today Earth brings judgment. The 6 warships of Task Force Judgment disappeared into hyperspace, heading for Koran Prime, and the first battle in humanity's war against the Galactic Council. Task Force Judgment arrived at Koran Prime just as the Council ships appeared on the far side of the planet. The 6 Earth warships moved into defensive positions. Captain Lisa Warren stood on the bridge of the Relentless, watching the enemy fleet grow larger on the screen. 27 Council ships, reported Ryan Kelly. Their main attack vessel is twice our size. Lisa nodded. Open a channel to all frequencies. When the communications officer gave her the signal, Lisa spoke clearly and firmly. This is Captain Lisa Warren of the United Earth Defense Force. The children of Earth stand with our allies. Withdraw or face judgment. For a long moment there was silence. Then a Voskai face appeared on the main screen. His gray skin was marked with the gold patterns of high rank. I am Arch-General Vex of the Galactic Council Purification Fleet, the alien said. This is Council business. Your presence here is illegal. Leave immediately or be destroyed with the evolutionary disruptors. The Quran are under Earth's protection, Lisa replied. We will not leave. Vex made a sound like cold laughter. 6 ships against my fleet? Your bravery is amusing but foolish. The Council has ruled. The Quran must be purified for the good of galactic evolution. The transmission cut off. Seconds later, the Council ships launched their first attack. Energy beams cut through space, toward the Earth vessels. But instead of hitting, they seemed to bend around the ships, missing them entirely. Talari shield generators working perfectly, said Greg Harris from the engineering station. They can't get a lock on us. Launch fighters, Lisa ordered. Execute Battle Plan Alpha. Small fighter craft poured from the Earth ships, moving in patterns that seemed random but were carefully planned. The Council ships fired again and again, but hit almost nothing. On the Relentless, Lisa watched as the battle plan unfolded. Lieutenant Kelly, take the Vindicator through their line. Ryan Kelly had transferred to command the smallest ship in the task force, the stealth destroyer UES Vindicator. His voice came through the comm. Yes, Captain. Phase technology ready. The B. Vindicator disappeared from normal sight. Using technology based on Satani quantum field manipulation, it reappeared behind the enemy line, directly above the Council command ship. Now, Lisa ordered. The Vindicator fired specialized weapons that didn't damage the Council ship, but instead disabled its shields and weapons. The giant vessel suddenly went dark. Arch-General Vex's face appeared on the screen again, now lit only by emergency lights. What have you done? He demanded. Shown you a small sample of Earth's judgment, Lisa replied. Your weapons are offline. Your engines will follow in 30 seconds. Order your fleet to stand down. Vex snarled. Never. All ships destroy the human vessels. The Council ships tried to regroup, but without their command vessel, their formations fell into chaos. Earth's fighters darted between them, using precise strikes to disable rather than destroy. Meanwhile, on the surface of Koran Prime, Commander Diane Cooper led a ground team to help evacuate civilians. The Koran were tall, thin beings with silver skin that reflected the red light of their sun. They moved in orderly groups toward the waiting transport ships. We need to hurry, Diane told the Koran leader, Elder Jiv. The battle in orbit won't keep the Council busy forever. Most of our people are safely aboard, Jiv said. But we have reports of Council soldiers in the Science District. Diane frowned. Science District? Why there? Our genetic research facilities are there. If they're following the same pattern as on other worlds, they're harvesting genetic material, Diane realized. She activated her comm. Squad 2, meet me at the Science District. We have Council troops to deal with. Diane's team found the Council soldiers inside the main laboratory. The aliens were collecting samples and downloading data. Without hesitation, the Earth soldiers attacked. The fight was brief, but intense. After securing the facility, Diane examined what the Council soldiers had been doing. They had collected blood and tissue samples from Koran scientists and were preparing to transport them to their ships. Just like with the Satani, Diane said, they're stealing genetic material before they destroy the planet. She ordered her team to destroy all the samples and the Council's collection equipment. They don't get to take anything from here. In orbit, the battle had turned solidly in Earth's favor. The Council ships, unable to effectively target the Earth vessels, began to retreat. Only Arch-General Vex's disabled command ship remained. Lisa brought the Relentless alongside the massive Council vessel. "Boarding teams ready," she ordered. "I want their navigation data and any information about their next targets." Before the boarding teams could launch, an urgent message came from Admiral Foster on Earth. "Captain Warren, our long-range sensors have detected 3 more Council fleets heading to your position. They'll arrive in less than 6 hours. You've made your point. Now get our people and the Koran out of there." Lisa wanted to argue, but she knew Foster was right. They had won this battle, but could not win against 3 more fleets. "All ships, prepare for evacuation support," she ordered. "We're taking the Koran people with us." For the next 5 hours, Earth ships and Koran transports worked together to evacuate as many people as possible from the planet. The great libraries and knowledge banks of Koran were downloaded and saved. Anything that could be moved was taken. As the last transport left the surface, Lisa ordered a special package placed on Arch-General Vex's ship. Then the Earth fleet jumped to hyperspace with the Koran refugees, leaving the disabled Council vessel behind. When the Council reinforcements arrived, they found Vex's ship floating powerless. On its bridge, a simple message played on all screens. This was just the beginning. Earth's judgment awaits all who participate in the Purification Initiative. Back on Earth, Admiral Foster faced the Council's ambassador in an emergency meeting. The tall Voskai diplomat was clearly angry. His gray skin flushed darker around his neck fins. "Your actions at Koran were an act of war against the Galactic Council," the ambassador said. "Cease all interference with the Purification Initiative immediately, or Earth will face the same cleansing as the evolutionary disruptors you protect." Foster stood up, towering over the seated ambassador. "Is that a threat to destroy Earth?" "It is the will of the Council. You have 24 hours to agree to our terms." Foster's face showed no emotion. "Then I have terms of your own. You have 24 hours to leave our solar system. All diplomatic ties with the Council are hereby severed." As guards escorted the sputtering ambassador out, Foster contacted the leaders of Earth's government. "It's official now," he said. "We're at war with the Galactic Council." In the depths of space, Task Force Judgment escorted the Koran refugee ships toward Earth. On the bridge of the Relentless, Lisa Warren looked at the stars around them. "We saved one ally," she said quietly. "But this is just the beginning." With Earth now openly defying the Galactic Council, Admiral Foster put Operation Safe Haven into action. Under his orders, the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter became a heavily fortified zone for refugees from Council attacks. "We can't keep running," Foster told his officers in the command center beneath Luna Base. "The Council will eventually come for Earth itself. We need to prepare." Captain Lisa Warren had returned from Koran with her task force and thousands of refugees. After a short rest, she joined Foster's team to plan their next moves. "We should hit them back," Lisa said. "Show them we're not afraid." Foster shook his head. "Not yet. Our fleet is still too small, but we're working on that." He showed them a hologram of the asteroid belt. Mining ships and construction vessels swarmed around the larger rocks, building hidden bases and defense systems. "Captain Warren, I want you to work with Greg Harris. We need to strengthen our defenses using the alien technologies our allies have shared with us." Lisa and Greg spent the next few weeks adapting Koran and Satani technologies to create a defensive network around the solar system. The Koran's ability to sense possible futures helped them design early warning systems that could detect Council ships before they exited hyperspace. "This is amazing," Greg said as they tested the system. "With this network in place, we'll have at least an hour's warning before any attack." Meanwhile, Dr. Susan Mitchell made an important discovery While studying the genetic modifications of the Voskai, she called Alan Hayes to her lab to show him her findings. "Look at this," she said, pointing to displays showing DNA sequences. "All the species targeted by the Council, the evolutionary disruptors as they call them, share certain genetic markers." "What kind of markers?" Alan asked. "They all have a natural ability to perceive and manipulate quantum probabilities. The Satani can sense quantum fields. The Quran can see possible futures. The others have similar abilities." "And the Voskai want these abilities for themselves," Alan realized. "Yes, but they can't just take the genes. They've been trying to splice them into their own DNA for centuries, but it doesn't work properly. That's why they're harvesting so much genetic material before destroying each planet. They're trying different combinations to see what works." This information was shared with Foster and Earth's leaders. It confirmed what they had suspected. The Council's Purification Initiative was actually a cover for genetic theft on a massive scale. On Mars, Earth's greatest shipwright, Keith Sanders, worked day and night on a new class of warship. Designed specifically to counter Council vessels, the prototype combined human engineering with technologies from each of the surviving allied species. "I'm calling her the UES Retribution," Keith told Lisa when she came to inspect the new ship. "She's twice as fast as anything we've built before, with weapons the Council has never seen." The Retribution was impressive, sleek and powerful, with systems that seemed almost alive. The ship's core used Satani quantum field technology to enhance its engines and shields. Quran probability systems improved its targeting. And Talari, memory crystals gave it the ability to adapt to enemy tactics in real time. "How soon before she's ready?" Lisa asked. 2 weeks, Keith replied. "And we have 5 more like her under construction." While Earth prepared its defenses and built new ships, Kevin Phillips continued his dangerous work, gathering intelligence. Despite nearly being caught at Nexus Station, he had managed to return to Council space with a new identity. His mission: find the heart of the Council's genetic research program. After months of careful investigation, moving from planet to planet, within Council territory, Kevin discovered what he was looking for: a heavily guarded facility orbiting a dead star in a remote system. Using encrypted channels, he transmitted the coordinates to Earth. "This is it," he reported, "their primary genetic research facility. All the samples taken from purified planets go here." But moments after sending the message, Kevin's cover was blown. Council security forces stormed his small ship, capturing him before he could escape. In a cold cell on a Council prison ship, Kevin faced Arch-General Vex himself. "So," Vex said, looking at the human prisoner, "you are the spy who has been causing us so much trouble. Your execution is scheduled for tomorrow." Kevin said nothing, staring back at the Voskai with steady eyes. "Your efforts are pointless," Vex continued. "The Council has existed for 10,000 years. Earth is nothing to us, a small backward planet that doesn't understand its place in the universe." "If we're so small and backward," Kevin asked, "why are you so afraid of us?" Vex's neck fins flared in anger. "We fear nothing." "Then why execute me? Why destroy peaceful species like the Satani?" "Sounds like fear to me." Before Vex could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. The deck rocked under them as something hit the vessel. "What's happening?" Vex demanded, activating his comm unit. "We're under attack," came a panicked reply. "Unknown ships. They appeared out of nowhere." Kevin smiled. Earth forces had somehow tracked him, or perhaps this was just very good timing. Either way, he needed to be ready. The attack was not from Earth, however. When the prison ship's hull was breached, the beings that poured in were not human. They were a mix of different species, all wearing similar armor marked with a broken Council symbol. One of them, a female Voskai with unusual blue markings, killed Kevin's guards and broke open his cell. "Kevin Phillips of Earth?" she asked. "Yes," he replied, surprised. "Who are you?" "Call me Zara. I lead the Free Species Alliance. We oppose the Seven and their Purification Initiative." "The Seven?" Kevin asked as they ran through the corridors. "The secret rulers behind the Council." Even most Voskai don't know they exist. They've been manipulating our people for centuries. Zara and her team fought their way back to their ship, taking Kevin with them. As they escaped, Kevin saw that Archgeneral Vex had also managed to flee in an escape pod. Aboard the rebels' ship, Kevin learned that many within the Council worlds opposed the Purification Initiative, but were too afraid to speak out. When Earth had stood against the Council at Quran, it had inspired these beings to form their own resistance. "We want to join forces with Earth," Zara told him. "Our numbers grow each day as more learn the truth about what the Seven are doing." "And what is that exactly?" Kevin asked. "They're trying to create a perfect being, one with the combined abilities of all the species they've targeted. They believe this being will have the power to control the fundamental forces of the universe." Kevin immediately saw the danger. If they succeed, they could reshape reality itself, Zara finished. And the Seven would control this being. As Phillips and his new allies headed for Earth, the Seven accelerated their plans. Sleeper agents throughout human space activated, attacking outposts and colonies. Several Earth settlements went silent, cut off from communication. Admiral Foster received these reports with grim determination. "They're trying to weaken us before a main attack," he told his officers, "but they've also shown their hand too soon." He contacted Captain Warren, who was aboard the newly completed UES Retribution on its shakedown cruise. "Lisa, we have the coordinates of their main genetic research facility from Phillips. And now we have confirmed reports that they're harming our people." Foster's face was set in hard lines. "It's time." "Time for what, sir?" Lisa asked, though she already knew. "Time to take the fight to them. Prepare Task Force Judgment. You're going hunting." Task Force Judgment grew larger and stronger. Ships from all the allied species joined Earth's vessels, forming a fleet unlike any seen before. Captain Lisa Warren led from the UES Retribution, with her trusted officers spread throughout the fleet. "Today we strike at the heart of the Council's evil," Lisa told the gathered captains in a final briefing. "The genetic research facility that Kevin Phillips discovered is our target. We will destroy their work and free any prisoners they're holding." The captains nodded, faces grim but determined. Many had lost their homeworlds to the Council's Purification Initiative. This mission was personal for all of them. Lisa continued, "Our fleet will jump in at 3 different points. Lieutenant Kelly will lead the first group to engage their defense ships. Commander Cooper's group will target their weapons platforms. The Retribution will lead the main assault on the facility itself." After months of preparation, the Allied fleet jumped to hyperspace, heading for the remote system where the Council conducted its darkest research. The Council facility orbited a dead star, a massive ring-shaped station protected by defense ships and weapon platforms. When the first Earth ships appeared, the Council forces were caught by surprise. They had never expected humans to find this secret place, let alone attack it. Lieutenant Ryan Kelly led the UES Vindicator and its squadron, straight at the Council defense ships. Using their phase technology, the Earth vessels seemed to flicker in and out of normal space, making them nearly impossible to target. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta," Ryan ordered. His ships moved in perfect coordination, disabling Council vessels without destroying them. Meanwhile, Commander Diane Cooper's group engaged the weapons platform surrounding the facility. Quran ships used their unique sensors to detect weak points, while Earth vessels delivered precise strikes. "Focus on their power cores," Diane instructed. "Don't let them bring their main cannons online." As the outer defenses fell into chaos, the Retribution and its battle group approached the main facility. Lisa stood on the bridge, watching as they drew closer to their target. "They're hailing us," reported her communications officer. The main screen lit up with the face of a Voskai unlike any Lisa had seen before. His skin was mottled with patches of blue and green, and he had extra eyes grafted onto his forehead. "I am Superior Genetic Director Mal of the Council Research Division," the creature said. "Leave this system immediately or be destroyed." "I am Captain Lisa Warren of Earth," she replied. "Your facility is surrounded. Surrender now." Mal laughed, a horrible sound. You have no idea what forces you're dealing with, human. The Seven have powers beyond your comprehension. Lisa gave a signal and the Retribution fired its main weapons. The station's outer shields flared and buckled under the assault. Boarding teams, prepare for launch, Lisa ordered. She would lead the main strike force herself. The battle for the station was fierce. Council security forces fought desperately to protect their research, but the determination of the Earth soldiers and their allies proved stronger. Room by room, they pushed deeper into the facility. Dr. Susan Mitchell accompanied Lisa's team, bringing equipment to analyze the genetic research they found. As they secured the main laboratory complex, Susan gasped at what she saw. "Captain, look at this." She pointed to rows of stasis pods containing beings from dozens of species. "They're still alive." Lisa moved closer. "Survivors from the purified worlds?" "Test subjects," Susan replied grimly. "They've been experimenting on them, trying different genetic combinations." She accessed the lab's computers. "There are hundreds of them here, and according to these files, they've been doing this for centuries." In another part of the station, Diane Cooper's team discovered something even more disturbing, a special chamber where 3 Voskai floated in glowing tanks. Their bodies were grotesquely changed with extra limbs and organs visible beneath transparent skin. "What are they?" asked one of her soldiers. "Members of the Seven," Diane realized. "They're transforming themselves." The Voskai in the tanks were connected to machines pumping fluids into their bodies. The computers nearby showed that they were incorporating genetic material from dozens of species into their own DNA. "They're trying to become gods," Diane said, horrified. Meanwhile, Ryan Kelly's squadron engaged Council reinforcements arriving in the system. The battle in space grew larger as more Council ships jumped in, trying to protect their precious facility. Admiral Foster, commanding from Earth, received urgent reports from the defensive network. Council forces are converging on human space. They've launched an all-out attack. Foster activated Earth's planetary defense grid, systems that had been kept secret for generations. Massive weapon platforms rose from hidden bases on the Moon, Mars, and throughout the asteroid belt. "Let them come," Foster said. "We're ready." Back at the research facility, Lisa's team fought their way to the station's core, where they faced 3 of the 7 who had already completed their transformations. The Voskai leaders barely looked like their original species anymore. Their bodies glowed with internal energy, and they moved in strange ways. "You are too late," one of them said, voice echoing oddly. "We have already begun to ascend. Soon we will control the very fabric of reality." Lisa raised her weapon. "Not today." The battle that followed tested Lisa and her team to their limits. The transformed Council leaders could manipulate gravity and energy in ways that seemed impossible, but they had underestimated human determination and the combined strengths of the allied species fighting alongside them. Susan figured out their weakness. The transformed beings couldn't properly control their new abilities. They were powerful but unstable. Lisa used this knowledge to lead her team in a coordinated attack that eventually overwhelmed the creatures. With the leaders captured and the facility secured, Lisa ordered all evidence of the Council's crimes gathered and transmitted throughout the galaxy. Every species would see what the Council had been doing in secret: the harvesting of genetic material, the cruel experiments, the true purpose of the Purification Initiative. "Broadcast on all frequencies," Lisa ordered. "Every world needs to see this." As the images and data spread across the galaxy, the reaction was immediate. Many Council member species, horrified by what they saw, rose up against their leaders. The 7 remaining members of the Inner Circle were arrested by their own security forces when they returned to the Council homeworld. The Council fleet attacking Earth space received the broadcasts too. Many ships simply turned around and left. Those that continued the attack faced Earth's newly revealed defenses and were quickly defeated. 1 month later, representatives from dozens of species gathered on a neutral station called Harmony. Admiral Foster led the Earth delegation. Together with leaders from the Satani, Koran, and other affected species, they established a new alliance called the Stellar Covenant. "The foundation of our new agreement is respect for all forms of life. Foster declared at the signing ceremony. No species has the right to decide which others deserve to exist, and no one has the right to steal what evolution has granted to others. The new covenant would be based on justice and mutual defense, rather than power and control. Earth, once considered just a backwater world with little influence, now stood at the center of this new galactic order. Captain Lisa Warren watched the signing ceremony from the observation deck of the station. Her comm unit beeped with a message from the Retribution. "Captain," said her first officer, "long-range sensors have detected unusual activity beyond the galaxy's edge. Something's out there." Lisa smiled. Whatever came next, Earth and its allies would face it together. "Send a message to Admiral Foster," she said. "Tell him I want to take the Retribution out to investigate." She looked out at the stars, thinking of all they had overcome. "This is just the beginning of our journey."